Well, good noon and welcome to the November issue of Lunch and Learn with Tony Woodard, Chief Inspector for the State Mechanical Program, and myself, Tom Hunt with the Arkansas HVACR Association. We are always so glad to bring these to you because I learned so much and there is so much to be learned. Tony, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hunt and everybody else. Hope everybody's doing well.
Well, today we're going to be talking about access and what?
Clearance, access and clearance.
And what does that have to do with?
Well, what it has to do with is actual fire ingress and egress, making sure that we get into the buildings. If we have fires, we have mechanical devices on the roofs. We have to have access to those roofs. Firemen have to be able to get there, kill gas, kill power, find the smoke, find the fire. We can't just put things on the building and go, okay, we're never going to have a problem with it. Also, it's for maintenance, repair, replacement, things of that nature. Yes, we're mainly talking about commercial, and we're going to mainly talk about the retrofit when we take existing buildings. And what a lot of the mechanical guys don't realize that they're responsible for a lot of fire code, like this building that you're looking at now is in a fire district. So the easiest way for me to explain to a mechanical contractor what a fire separation assembly wall is if you were to look at that picture right there and you see the occupants with the green door, which is a business to the right, that's a fire separation assembly wall between it and this building. They're trying to make a new occupancy. There's certain things that have to be met when you're putting mechanical deals. Also, that's a lot zero line. That's a property line. If you're going to start putting type 1 hood exhaust, you can't discharge it over into the other person's property. And they're over on the roof and they don't think about that. They just start letting her blow away. So we're going to talk about things like that today.
You know, as a primarily residential contractor back when I was in business, I never would have even thought about this sort of thing. I would have just thought, well, that's simple. I just need a 5-ton unit and I'm going to put it up there. And I wouldn't even worried about that sort of thing, about fire breaks and all of that.
That's correct. The mechanical contractor of today has to know a lot, or in my words, find the person to call that can help you find the answer you need.
All right. Now we're going to just take it slide by slide and you can jump off into each one of them as we go, Tony.
Okay. What we had an alleyway, and this was a zero lot line alleyway. However, the engineers and them were a little confused, thinking that they couldn't put a mechanical ladder on the side of this building because it was zero lot line. Well, that doesn't play a bearing when it comes to our firefighters and needing to go and have access onto the building. That's still part of the structure, even though if it protrudes out just a little bit, we're all right there. But what happened in this case, this was an actual variance. They wanted to come to the board, ask for a variance to not have ingress or access to the roof. Of course, the board says, no, you're going to have to find one. So we met with them. Aesthetically, they didn't want it on the outside. So I think the next slide, I met with them and said, okay, we can put your permanent access on the inside. Now, this was showing they kind of got ahead of the game here and got cranes and already set their RTUs on the roof without having access up there. And the key with the code, if you look at this lower portion of the building here, any elevated structure that's 16 foot or higher. Now, if you notice how that building's stepping down,
Yes,
if this would have stepped down to 14 foot, no permanent access would have been required. Per the OSHA's regulations of a 20-foot extension ladder, you can lean that up on a 14-foot elevated structure, have your 3 to 3.5 foot of the ladder exposed, sticking up, climb up, have your rungs to hang on to, and step your foot onto the landing area of the roof. Once it's 16 foot or higher, then we have to have permanent access. That's what got us involved with this.
I see.
Okay.
You know, who is responsible for putting that ladder in? If you're the contractor, somebody calls you, HVAC contractor, somebody calls and says, hey, I want you to replace or I want you to install a new system on my roof. Who does the ladder?
Okay. This is the $1 million question you asked right there. Because, and we did this presentation for ASHRAE for the engineers, because the engineers are the design professionals that draw the building, draw the structures, the ingress, egress, your exits and all that. It's actually under the mechanical code, but I address this with the engineers to get the point across in the front end on the design guys. Don't miss this. It's in the building code, but it's in the mechanical code. And the reason is for access to mechanical devices. We don't necessarily hold a licensed Class A or B contractor over this. We want to get involved and get with the design professional, the building person that buys the building permit, and move from that point forward and get our access to the structure before we start putting equipment up there. But it's in the mechanical code, Tom.
So would it be then permissible for a mechanical contractor to install that ladder?
It will be. And we have several, I'll give you Harper sheet metal of the day over there, Brown sheet metal, some of our true fine sheet metal folks, Mayo sheet metal of the Northwest will build some of these for folks. And we've had some but their forte is in the metal world, you know. It wouldn't your standard ever be, but yes, we do have some that install these, and the code reference is 3065. It's right in the middle of general rules, and it's one of them head scratchers, but we need to let our contractors be aware. If you bid this, hey, provide me access.
You know, as from a contractor's point of view, it sure is good to know about all this stuff before you give a price and all of a sudden wake up and realize that you have to install a ladder like that. I bet that's not cheap to do.
They're average, I'd say a 20-foot ladder on your space rungs at your 11-inch. You're looking at 15 to $2,000 just to build it. And then you got labor to put it in.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
All right, here's the next one.
Okay. Once we went inside the building, I was with the design professional and had the owners, and they said, well, we don't want it to protrude for aesthetics. I said, well, is this beam going to be exposed? And they said, yes. The depth of that beam would have had the depth for the mechanical ladder to be just to the side of it and go on up. They chose another route, and you'll see further in the slides that this went on for a year, and we went back and took slides. They moved the mechanical ladder back inside in the kitchen area, which makes sense as well. But I was explaining to them, well, if you're going to have an exposed beam, it's not going to be any different. You could paint your mechanical ladder black as well. This was in the testimony of our hearing for the board, and the board agreed that yes, I mean, you got to have it. And the reason for this picture is you had the space between this structure to have the egress for the hatch, the roof hatch, to get on out up on the roof. And another reason I'm using this building, there's a new code coming up when we get further in the slide that I want to address as well.
Okay. So the variance request failed, huh?
Yes, sir. I haven't seen one pass, but we're here. We're open to the public. It's always worth a try.
This is interesting.
Yes. So this is going to move these slides are probably going to go to another job that we get involved with.
Huh. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Here we go. So here's one where heat and air contractor, licensed contractor, does what the consumer or the owner of the structure wants. This can get you into some hot water. The next slide will show, once again, just because consumer says this is where I want it, doesn't mean you necessarily can do such. So if we flip to the next slide there.
You know, that's something that we talk about in all of our training sessions, and that is that the HVAC contractor has got to stop saying, I'm just a heat and air man. Throw away that 4-letter word just and realize the responsibility you have to make sure that it's done right. Here we go.
You're the design professional on the mechanical side with Class A and B license. That's it. So they put this building is well below 16 foot. However, they've put all of their appliances, all three, anything with a model and serial number that has a fan, belt, contacts, or points that need service, repaired, or replaced shall not be within 10 foot of the roof's edge. So there's always exception for certain things. This was not an existing top one hood that was there. This is new construction added to this old building. So we got it closer than 10 foot to the roof's edge. So now at this point, there is an exception. If you can maintain 18 inches between the outer lip of the top one hood and still have room to the roof, you can put a guardrail up there. He's got his 10-foot separation from the exhaust from the intake, but the intake's also within 10 foot. This was one where they refused to hire a design professional. The design professional gave them the drawing, too much money. They tried to do it on their own. This one to get you, they don't, brand new Type 1 hood, makeup air, don't remove the tree, everything. This is one of the deals where fire marshal and them, they're busy, and show up Monday morning. Next thing you know, somebody's pulled permits. Next thing you know, equipment's up there. I had one even tell me, you won't find one of those closer than 10 foot to the roof's edge in my town. I said, sir, that's things happen out of your control. You're not aware of. But this guy is on both sides, 10 foot left, 10 foot right, and the makeup air as well. So he's going to let you fall left or right. He's an equal opportunity. Okay,
I'm going to say an obvious duh. I'm assuming that the reason you got to have that 10 feet is for safety of service tech.
Service techs, maintenance repair, correct.
Corrections made?
Corrections made on the variance. Okay, we're back. They're about to open up. We're going back inside the building. Okay, on this picture right here, you can see where they're going to start to put their Type 1 hood. That picture's been stretched, so it kind of looks like that makeup air unit's hanging out over the little parapet wall there, which when we get up there, you'll see the parapet wall's not the full height it's supposed to be. But I want you to notice the little yellow guardrail. Yeah. What we're going to get to that. That's brand new. That's a new code section that when we adopt the new code, hopefully we're enforcing it by March of next year. That is a new code. No matter where a roof hatch is located now, there will be protection with the rail itself on that. So that's why I wanted, and we're about to get up there.
So the 10 feet doesn't matter if you're talking about the hatch?
No, sir. 10 foot doesn't matter. You put a hatch, it is a fall back down into the hatch protection.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir. Okay, we've got our permanent ladder now. We've got our access going to the roof. That was added. They wanted it back there. I get that. They didn't want it they didn't want it to be an eyesore out there where their patrons are eating and all that. So they put it in the back of the building.
Is there a point at which you have to have an enclosure around that ladder?
Yes. If you put this externally outside, when you get within the 42 inches to the roof edge, you will start going inside, either side rails built on the side of this, and it extends. I could give you some examples of Tractor Supply. They build one, and it's a circular. As you start climbing the ladder, it gets circular. You go up in.
Good gosh, that's straight up.
That is straight up. Going to the roof hatch.
That's not fun, no matter who you are.
Okay, that's the new code reference on the guardrails, the 304. That's new, and I was showing that to the engineers to start preparing this for bidding on your jobs. Add this adder on there. Okay. See that from this angle, you can see the makeup air is further back away from the roof. That picture just when I stretched it made it look like it went way out over the roof there. So on this guardrail thing, the only thing we did our hatch backwards. So the hatch.
I was just gonna say, how are you gonna get out of here?
You got me. So the hatch should actually open the other direction. And then you step out with your guardrail, because now what happens in this situation, they're going to have to stretch it. Yes, I've got a better picture.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We continue to learn every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So what he's done now, if you'll notice, there's a little foot pad. Do you see how this little foot pad comes back this way to the right? So it's kind of give and take on our side here, but I want those that design these in the future, don't flip it the other direction. That roof hatch back this way, your landing area, then you open the gate and go out, because you're falling back over your thing you're trying to protect.
Which one of the Three Stooges designed that thing? And I'm sorry, folks, if you did it, I would have probably done the same thing. I'm not trying to be critical. It's just so funny. Because how good people, smart people, well-intentioned people can really make a mistake.
We all do. We all do. We do. So we open the gate. exit on. So what happened here, what I really believe happened to them, they got the makeup air unit in up front, and that's what got their hatch reversed on them. They couldn't swing the gate out. So that's what really happened. But pay attention to this, engineers. Get your hatch on this side and exit where you stand going the other direction.
And they have already bent this section
Rail.
right here, haven't they?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. So the P, now on this one, this was actually, now this is in today's code. So what I want folks to look at, this is legal, what we're under right now, but it was a building that had a flat roof, and then they decided to put a 12 pitch roof over, and they actually got a design professional help them build this. That's what you're about to see. So this is the restaurant up in Morrilton, and that was a flat roof right there. So now he's got issues because his makeup air, you notice his makeup air is not sticking out of that. So the design professional was like, okay, we're over 612 pitch. We got to have guardrail, catwalk, standing location for me, which is 100% correct.
Yeah.
If you get to the side, you'll be able to see where the roof hatch was put in. Okay. Reason I took this picture, I wanted you to see the makeup air at the very back. Now the makeup air had issues itself. We have a 10-foot clearance from flue vents off of a package unit. And if you'll look down at the bottom down here, there is a water heater flue vent down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right in this area here.
Yes, sir. There you go. That's why this is such a critical picture right here. Okay. Now you see the hatch up over there, but the design professional didn't do this. He did the gate and the guardrail. This was done by the mechanical guy. Okay. In the next picture, I'll show where here. So if you get involved with one of these of today, now that will have the guardrail, and it'll be a continuous guardrail that'll tie into this gate right here. And let's open it up this way. No, we're stepping back the other direction.
My goodness. Your all-time favorite, huh?
This is my all-time favorite. This one is. This was another request for variance. We have a building that's not structurally big enough, nor is it structurally sound enough to even put makeup air equipment or anything on the roof. And the folks had got so in deep with the money, they just wanted to keep going. Another variance request, didn't win. So after the variance request, started going up to make the inspections of where we were. So that's the old hood. It was built in the 70s. Got to take them out. You got to get a new one. So they do get a top one hood, get a well-built heavy-duty guardrail up there, because they already knew starting off they were closer than 10 foot the roof's edge. So they contracted. This is a Mayo rail here, I believe, Mayo sheet metal, and got the top one hood going. And now they were going to try to. Also, I'd say they had a design professional and decided to go a different route without the design professional. And next slide will show where they put their makeup air unit. So
what are we looking at, Tony?
What we're looking at is a tempered cool reheat makeup air system. So you got a condensing air with makeup. But before they went any further, I asked them, I said, why is that sitting on the pad? They said, well, that's where we're going to place it. And I said, bring your vehicle over here and back it up to right here by this orange cone. And they did. And about that time, the contractor walked up to me and he said, oh, I see why we can't put that there. We can't suck the carbon monoxide fumes off. This is going to be a circular drive through here. So we can't suck the vehicle carbon monoxide fumes off of vehicles and suck the carbon monoxide into the building. So at this point, they said, we need to go back to a design professional. So they did.
What is that condensing unit that's sitting on?
That is a condensing unit. So basically, you've got a flat evap coil right here. You've got a horizontal heat deal. So we can temper the air. When it's real hot, we can air condition and cool the makeup air coming in, and we can reheat it coming in.
Okay.
We're starting to see all your come and goes, Casey's, they're starting to see this to be a big push.
But we are getting the fresh air, makeup air right off the line there of all the cars.
No, we're not going to do
Not going to do that, huh? Well, but that car didn't smoke too much.
No, no. Or also, if you notice that dug up stuff, that's the new sewage line going down through there. So
Oh.
if we ever got a leak there, it's just, yeah.
Wow.
So we got to get 10 foot of clearance away from noxious or hazardous fumes. So you'll see in the next slide what they decided to do.
Corrections made.
So this one is my all-time favorite because this place sells Japanese Wagyu, this special Japanese steak. And then from the side, you'll be able to see this looks like Little Nelly, Loch Ness Monster. And they just need to put some orange. If they put orange fins on the back of that and paint it green, it'll look just like a dragon.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yes. And this is insulated now because this is tempered air. This is conditioned air. This will sweat like, so now we have to insulate that because that's our tempered air going in. Our makeup air is standing up on a stand 10 foot above vehicular traffic or noxious. So, and we got our bollards there for the vehicle traffic. So it's legal, but it's my favorite.
Yeah. I really think they should paint it green and make it look make it look like a dragon. It would be an attraction to their business, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, just, hey, that's come eat at the dragon. I think the next slide's there's from the side. Yeah, that one there, that's my favorite little dandy right there.
They really should do. I mean, every kid in town's going to want mom and daddy to drive through the dragon. Yeah.
Get a free toy or something.
Yes, exactly. Well, Tony, that wraps us up for today. I really appreciate all these slides. I learned a lot and got a good laugh too.
Hey, if we don't learn something, we gotta break from reality for a minute. So hey.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We've run out of time and run out of slides, and Tony's got a lot to do. So we're going to turn him loose. And remember that the second Monday of every month at noon, we have our lunch and learn. And Tony has always given us something to make us hopefully be smarter and have a good time watching it as well. Our industry is one where we can easily make mistakes. And I'm so grateful that the Department of Labor and Licensing has endorsed the concept of education as being premier. We've always said in the association that the best form of regulation and enforcement is education. So that's why we spend a lot of time doing that. Again, thank you very much. And we'll be back with you again in December on Lunch and Learn.